You're now tuning into the sounds of the POTNAS podcast.
On topics, news, and shit.
It's episode 9. Hey, it's episode 9. Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the POTNAS podcast, where we're delivering our perspective on topics, news, and shit. We are your hosts, the POTNAS. Starting from the left end of the table, we got Mr. Put Your Money Up only when I feel the most secure. Courtney Coleman, ladies and gentlemen.
When did that come in? When did the extra?
That's some new.
Well, you know, you play me. You've had it coming, my brother. You've been playing me every episode for the past 5 episodes. It's about time I got your little punk ass back.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. What up, fellas? How y'all doing?
What's going on, bro?
Oh yeah,
Good to see you, bro.
Next up is the partner who believes he's the flyest in the room
At all times.
when he's the only one in the room. My man Dino, aka the dictionary.
What's going on, y'all?
JT on one today, huh?
Yeah, I don't wanna- I'm always the flyest one in the room.
Goddamn right. And last, but certainly not least, I am your favorite partner, the most entertaining and electrifying partner, aka JT Young Tizzle, the livest thrizzle. Mr. Somebody Had to Say It. And I'm the life of the party. It don't even matter if you play the sad trombone, my brother, because I stay fly. That's right.
I'll give you some
That's
explosions,
right.
bro.
Booyah! Shaka-laka-laka. Shout out to our producer one time for our intro song at Tony Snow CEO.
Two Touch.
Shout out to Two Touch, Tony Snow. Yeah, and we are on episode 9, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, season 2.
What's poppin'?
Technically, for season 2, it'd be episode 2.
Episode 2, season 2.
But,
but
yeah.
Episode 9.
I like to do things in 2.
We do comprehensive continuity.
Yeah. Hey, Courtney. So
Why did it have to come out? I knew it was coming my way. Why? What's up?
So we're in almost playoff season for the NBA, and your Lakers aren't looking too hot.
Yikes!
You really believe
Is that your team?
they will make the playoffs? They are the 6th seed right now.
Are they gonna
Probably
make
about
the
to be
playoffs?
fucking 7th, huh?
Your question is, are they going to make the
Yeah.
playoffs?
Are they gonna make the playoffs?
They're playing without.
With the play-in coming in effect.
They're playing
Can you
without-
Can you explain the play-in for our listeners, by the way?
The plane.
Yeah, play in.
play-in.
So what happened was NBA basically is like it used to be the top 8 teams would make the playoffs, right? Now it's the top first of all, I don't even know. I barely know.
It's the top 6.
Top
It's the
6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, I believe. 7 plays 10.
7 plays 8, and then 9 and 10, I believe, play each other. And if that's not the case, then yeah, 7 probably plays
I think it's 7
9,
plays 10, and then 8 plays 9, or 7 plays 9, 8 plays whatever. You get the point.
Low key, I was
Right.
going to be like, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever.
I know.
So-
Whoever plays who, I'm pretty sure that it's 7 plays 8, and then whoever wins out of that automatically goes.
Oh, and then 8 plays the
and
winner
then-
out of
yeah, and then whoever's
yeah.
the loser of 7 and 8
That's
will
exactly how it
play
goes.
the
Okay.
winner
Gotcha,
of 9 and
gotcha.
10,
Yeah.
and then whoever wins that
So
will
your question
secure the
is,
8th
With the
seed.
Lakers
Are the
being
Lakers gonna-
they're gonna be in the playoffs. It's not a big. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah,
Y'all
I'm
are
not.
real injury prone, my brother.
I mean, I'm not like the biggest Lakers fan too. Let me say that.
Nigga, whatever. Last season, you were talking all that greasy
I
hot
was going
shit.
to ask
remember
because,
that.
like, the way he don't cut from the way he cut from
Right. The Saints. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But that's the only team I really hear you like.
Cutting for it. Yeah, I'm a Saints fan. I don't ever say I'm a Lakers. I mean, I'm a Lakers. I'm a Lakers
You a
fan,
bandwagon?
but I'm not like
Since when?
a Lakers fan
Yeah.
since way back. Like
Kobe or
yeah. It's because of
Kareem
Kobe.
type situation?
I mean, I wasn't alive. Well, I was alive, but I wasn't alive.
Okay.
You were
So-
not, but you would know if you were a real fan. Like, well, I was.
No, I know who.
I
I know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying.
You got the Kareem ones? Are you real?
I don't have the. I don't have the. Kareem.
I wasn't watching Earl Campbell and the Oilers, yo. But I know who the Oilers are. I know who he is.
Point is, Lakers will make the playoffs, and
Put
Lakers
your
will,
money up.
for the playoffs.
Wow.
I bet you that they won't make it past round 1.
Damn. Okay, JT.
Let's wait till round 1 gets here, and then let's make a bet.
Oh man,
You can't make a blind bet.
And this is That's what you're exactly what you're supposed to do.
I don't want to do that.
When it comes to making a high wager.
I like having metrics-driven decisions.
No, you know what it is? So, like a couple of years ago when Kawhi was on the Raptors, we had a long-lasting wager going between us between the Sixers and the Raptors, who was going to come out of the East. And I told him, I was like, bro, I'm telling you, I don't know what it is, but my intuition tells me Raptors and Kawhi are gonna come out.
It was Van
and
Vliet.
then it came out. I don't even think you had the Sixers. I think you had the Bucks. And,
I had the Bucks.
Yeah.
I've heard this before. This is
Bro, oh my gosh, that Cinderella story was beautiful.
Y'all, I mean, Kawhi hit a shot, the ball went straight up and then went in. Like, it wasn't like, he wasn't supposed to make that.
I don't care.
Bro,
I got my money from you.
It was
I got
Van
my
Vliet.
push-ups from you, and it was glorious. It was a glorious,
The squash shot?
glorious.
Huh? When you squatted down,
Yeah,
waiting for the
yeah,
ball
yeah,
to
that
touch
was-
every part of the rim.
He was like,
that one.
hey, bro, he was texting me hot shit and be like, run me my money. And like, I was just like, nigga, it is not over.
Nah, he believed it was until the shot went in. Then he hit me back with like, you know how it go.
FaceTime with him. We had a whole watch party, and it was beautiful.
Oh no, and you had cable and I didn't have cable, so you was shouting and I was like, hold up, bro, I don't know what happened yet. Yeah, I had Apple TV, so I had Apple TV, so my shit was delayed.
It was in the third quarter when you
Nah,
golly, damn, yo.
hey, speaking of, wait, we got a special guest.
Yo,
Ladies and gentlemen, today is a very special episode because we have our very special guest very first special guest of season 2. We brought an actual whole ass doctor, y'all.
Facts. But why we doing
on
that,
our
Tizzy?
show? Well, because May is Mental Health Awareness Month, right? And we wanted to make sure that we brought a legit doctor on our show to come and talk to the audience and to all of our listeners all about the ins and outs of mental health, since, you know, that's basically been the trending topic for the past couple of years. And so
For good reason.
at this moment in time, let me go ahead and get some applause. Oh, shit. Wow. See, this is why I don't work the board.
Exactly.
Yeah, go
Hands
ahead
off
and give
the
us some
board.
applause. At this moment in time, the partners would like to introduce to you all Dr. Bryan Sackey.
Thank you.
Welcome, my brother.
My man.
Appreciate it, man.
yeah.
Appreciate it,
What's going on, man?
man. I'm
Welcome
alive.
to Houston.
Right, welcome back. I used to be out here.
Yeah.
I used to be out here.
I
Welcome
forgot I
back.
used to be out here. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I used to walk the streets of Houston for a little
yeah,
bit.
used to
My
be out
man,
here.
Bryan, tell us, I'm sorry, Dr. Sackey.
No. We're not going to do that.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Brian.
I
Bryan.
might call you Doc a couple times though.
It's
FYI,
cool.
it
All right,
might
so
slip out. You
tell
feel
us
me?
a little bit about yourself, my brother. Like, give us an introduction of who Bryan Sackey, Dr. Sackey is, and let us know your name, hometown, occupational title, and your job description.
For sure. Again, thank y'all for having me. I do, for those who are watching, I just want to shout out the back wall here.
Oh, yeah.
Of Anime Classic. We got DBZ. You know what I mean?
That's where it
we got
started for me,
One Punch Man, and that's all I
yeah.
know. That's all I know.
That's all you got?
I'm about to say, I'm got to the second row. I was like, nah.
He sounded real confident.
You only name like maybe two
I thought he was finna go in. He got my man Saitama with one punch. I was like, oh, okay.
I actually have a special prize for whoever can guess everybody on the wall, and nobody has yet to, claim that prize.
Even
But-
I haven't watched all of
Nah,
it.
this is legit. They got the nigga Spider-Man too.
Yeah, man.
Like it.
That's me, actually.
That is fire.
That's him
Yeah.
and Sam.
Yeah, that's me.
That's
and,
beautiful.
And wifey right there.
That is amazing.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, bro.
Anyways,
But we're not here talking about the wall. We're talking about you, my man.
So yes.
Tell us about you, bro.
I am originally from Ghana. If you want to start from the roots, I'm from Ghana.
That's dope.
So
Y'all gonna win the World Cup this in 2022?
something.
Hey, man.
We
I
always
believe in
sound.
y'all.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. So yeah, hometown Ghana. I was born there. Then I moved out here to the DC area around the age of 5. Now the whole pharmacy thing. So that's my background, right? I'm a pharmacist. I'll get to that whole what I actually do on a day-to-day basis. But my father's a pharmacist, and when I first saw him practicing, I thought it was whack.
Oh,
He looked stressed every day coming home. I'm like, you look stressed. Like, why would I ever want to do what you're doing?
Yeah.
But he gave me an opportunity to work as a farm tech. And
At what age did this happen?
this is probably this is college.
Okay.
And you making bread. You making like $25 an
I
hour.
know a couple farm techs.
As a farm tech.
Yeah, facts.
So you were actually making money under your father?
Well, my father's guidance.
He trying to get somebody caught up.
My father So opioids and narcotics.
Hey, that's a HIPAA violation.
Right. Watch, I'm gonna get a call. I'm gonna get a call tomorrow morning. You come here right now.
Tips are trying to set you up for the Okies, though.
So I saw when I got into the field, I was able to see a lot of, honestly, the untapped potential in my eyes, because I had only breached the surface. Like, it was just so much there, but just seeing the different ways that this type of provider can impact the healthcare system, I thought it was super cool. I'm always about going into a situation where I know I could put a dent in it.
Yeah.
Or I can elevate it in whatever way. More importantly, as a black man, like if I could go into a situation, represent myself as a black man, and it helps to improve this enterprise, this field, that's all I wanted.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well spoken, well said, and that's what every employer wants to hear. By the way,
Right.
Not that you are employed by anybody or
that it's for them.
working for the man,
But you're right, though. That's,
what I mean?
that's ideal.
For sure.
Yeah. But we'll get into more of the formalities and the
for
details
sure.
about that. Go ahead and finish the intro.
Yeah, so went to the illustrious, the Royal HU, Howard University.
I give you
Shout
that.
out, the Royal
What
HU.
is that?
Yo, let me give y'all some. I'm gonna give you this.
We got kids. Okay.
Because
HU love kids.
if the kids are listening, I mean, how was a good school?
It's a great
I'm
school.
on a big HBCU thing right now too, though.
There we go.
I went to a PWI. I loved it. Wouldn't replace it, but yeah, I mean, big shouts out to HBCUs.
For sure.
We need y'all.
So my experience was great, because I went to University of Maryland College Park, so that's my PWI situation.
Yeah.
It was cool, but as a black man, I did not feel supported.
Yeah,
Right? My advisor actually told me, don't go into pharmacy because your grades are trash, pretty much. Like you may not make it to pharmacy, so don't apply.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't until I ran into my supervisor, who was a black pharmacist when I started working as a pharm tech. She went to Howard. She was like, nah, go. Just apply. You know what I mean? I applied. I got waitlisted. All the schools I applied to, they said nah, but I got waitlisted at Howard. Howard decided to give me a chance. I went in there in the interview. I said, look, man, I'm going to make y'all school famous. I was talking that trash.
Talking this shit, yeah.
Because my supervisor said, be confident. I was like, yeah, so I'm going to have the president coming in here. I'm like, yeah, no, you're tripping. But I said something that got me in.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided, like, all right, this is my opportunity to really switch things around. Like
Turn up.
You know what I mean? Like, create my own story, create my narrative, start from ground zero.
You truly your father's son.
What's dope is you seize the opportunity, though.
I had to.
You know what I mean?
I had
Some people
to.
would get that and not
Capitalize.
not capitalize, not take advantage.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And I'll tap into a little bit of mental health here because as Africans, right? Africans, we're so used to your father, your mom telling you, you got to be a doctor. You know what I mean? You got to be a lawyer.
You got to be some 6-figure earning.
Right.
Like all my Nigerian friends holler at you.
Right. So mentally, I was like, dang, I want to be myself. You know what I mean? I want to do me. But because I felt like I still had to honor what my parents, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They brought me all the way here from Ghana.
Yeah.
What I look like
And
being
they made it happen.
They made it
You gotta
happen.
make it-
Right.
So that did mentally mess me up a little bit. And it's kind of like it's pressure.
Yeah,
like I can't mess this up.
Yeah.
And so I'm in there. We'll talk about pressure when it comes to like society.
Yeah.
But I made the best of it, and for me, mental health was never something I was looking for. In fact, my first encounter with mental health, because we don't talk about it, right?
Not at all.
We don't talk about it in the black community.
Nah.
My first encounter with mental health. So I used to be in a band. Right, I was
What
a
kind of
drummer.
band? What kind of band?
It was a fusion of everything. It was called the UC.
Okay.
And
What did UC stand for?
I was going to say it's an acronym for something.
whatever you want it to stand for.
Unified colors.
It's the name kind of, to me right now, it sounds corny. It was cool at first.
Yeah.
But it was called the Urban Cartel. But it's, you know what I mean? We got crucial age, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Shout out to
Andy,
UC.
come on, man.
Shout out to UC. You feel me?
Yeah, so it was everything. It was holy shit, where you find them at? See, now I'm getting roasted. We weren't part of the cartel. It wasn't
Yo, something wrong with y'all. Hold on.
But I love music. I wanted to do that. That was like my plan A, but that's not realistic.
Yeah.
I'm African.
I'm about to say, you tell that to your Ghanaian father.
Oh, yeah. Like, be what? And then, my baby don't go facial books. So like that, that's what happened. Exactly. That was a shoe. That was a left shoe going across my chest.
That's a boomerang shoe too.
Right, they took
that tool. That's a fact.
So we never really talked about mental health in our family and in our household, amongst our friends, nothing.
Yeah.
But so while in the band, we ran into this young lady at our undergrad. She did photography. Cool. And she had bipolar, and she knew that I was in pharmacy school. So she was like, "Oh, my doctor prescribed me all these meds. Should I be taking them?"
Yeah.
I'm just like, I mean, yeah, do what your doctor says. But honestly, mental health is something that we all just sort of create in our head. Like, we're stronger than depression. We're stronger than anxiety and stuff like that, which is wrong, by the way. But
You didn't know. You didn't have the
I had no idea. Yeah. And so I don't know, and this is not to get all sad or like bring the mood down, but
what it is.
I don't know if I guess for a while I battled whether I caused any of this, but one day, like probably 3 or 4 weeks after that conversation, she had a situation whereby she went to an event, and there was a guy that I believe rejected her, and it resulted in her overdosing and killing herself. So that was my first visceral encounter with mental health. It was in my face, but more importantly, I felt tied to that. I felt like I could have. I said the wrong thing. I felt like I could have done something. So again, this is early, you know what I mean? This is me actually seeing it in real life. Still didn't make too much of it as far as like now I want to be a mental health provider.
Yeah.
It was just like,
it impacted you though.
It impacted me.
Yeah.
I always felt like in the back of my head, like, man, I feel like I have to make up for this.
Yeah, I got to do something.
So, I'm in a pharmacy school. I graduated. I was actually interested in infectious disease and cardiology. So I went to residency in Houston. That's when I first moved out here.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to the H.
Houston, you know what I mean? So
Changed your life, huh?
it did.
Houston does that.
It did.
Has that effect.
So I'm out here in Houston, right? And I have my first rotation in psychiatry. And that's when...
Interesting.
Yeah. So my moment when I realized... Right, because like I said, I wanted to do infectious disease. I want to do cardiology. I had those rotations. Yeah. I was like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't...
You could do it, but it ain't really...
Yeah, like I had to wait. So that's one thing. If you feel like you have to wake up to go do what you got to do, if you don't have that natural alarm clock, I know it sounds cheesy. Like,
no, I mean,
that's
it's
a thing.
What was the Eric the hip hop preacher? I feel like I sound like that. But if you don't have that natural like alarm clock for something you want to do, you may not be as passionate about it. Yeah, you know what I mean. I had to drag myself out of it when I was doing psychiatry. Yeah, my first encounter was with a black male patient in an inpatient unit. So usually when you think about inpatient unit, what do y'all think about? Like we see in the movies. The psych unit.
Psych ward.
Psych ward.
The padded rooms.
The suit jacket. I mean, not the suit jacket, but the strap jacket.
Yeah, off-white joint.
Yeah.
I feel like Virgil got a jacket that look like that.
I think so. With the straps on it.
It's kind of fire. But anyways, so I'm in that environment, right? Straight jacket. I'm in an environment, but obviously it's dramatized in TV. It's not how it really looks.
I know it's not that. I've seen it. Yeah.
Right. So the first patient I encountered, period, was this young black veteran. So I'm at the VA, young black veteran, 22. He comes to me. Wow. Matter of fact, the only reason why I spoke to him is because he was being belligerent, right? Quote unquote. Yeah. He was yelling back and forth with everyone, like fighting, you know what I mean? The staff and all that. And I feel like they passed me to him because I was black. Yeah. They're like, of course, hey, you probably know what he's talking about. Yeah. So I went to talk to him, and your boy was calm. He was like, bro, I just came from like, hey, what's good? Like, let's talk. Yeah. What's cool? He didn't see my white coat. He didn't see like my credentials. He just saw a black man saying, let's talk.
He saw your aura too.
Hey, I'll take it. Yeah. So that conversation felt so natural. Yeah. Like I felt like I was talking to someone about their problems, and he felt like he was being heard for the first time. Wow. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't belligerent. He wasn't like, you know what I mean, going back. He's like, yeah, bro, like they don't feel me. And that's probably the first big thing about mental health in the black community. We have to be able to translate our pain to the people that are trying to help us.
That requires
I didn't even think of that.
That requires a good amount of emotional intelligence.
Yeah. Not even that.
I know I've been on that journey, G. Just learning how to emote.
That's beautiful.
Verbally.
Emotional intelligence is extremely important, and that's something that I think the trauma of Black people interferes with us being able to emotionally evoke what we need to.
That's a big fact.
So let's get into it. Like that's actually our first category or subcategory within this topic that we want to touch on is Black men and women in regards to the trauma realm. You know, can you expound upon that? Because I personally feel tied, you know, to that example because I'm a veteran myself and I have witnessed and come across. Appreciate it. Man, thank you all for y'all service as well. You know, everybody serves
for sure.
But nonetheless, I feel personally connected to that story because I can see myself in his shoes because, you know, all of the other Black men, no matter what the ranks are, being in the military, it's hard for their voices to be heard. You know,
and I feel like you can't be too loud,
right? I mean, you can't be too loud. You have a code, you have a military, you know, uniform code of military justice that you have to abide by, and then even then, you still kind of like have the good boys club within every organization, including the military. And so now you're just looking for a place to be accepted and to, you know, not only just be accepted, but to be heard and respected. And so that's probably what he was experiencing. I mean, that's exactly what he was experiencing based on, you know, your feedback. And so, yeah, can you expound upon like the trauma realm that Black men and women go through and deal with when it comes to discussing our feelings and our issues amongst each other?
It's a lack of discussion.
It is so much, it's so much within that, right? So, the gentleman actually had PTSD, right? So post-traumatic stress disorder. The premise of that is you experience something traumatic that's technically is supposed to be life-threatening or a sexual assault, anything that involves someone's life being threatened. And that impacts you long-term, so to a point whereby you re-experience it in your mind at any moment. You're doing the things to purposely avoid the situation. Yeah. You're doing, whenever you hear certain things or smell certain things, they may remind you of the event and it's distressing. Right? And sometimes you may
like
have
a
nightmares.
Firecracker going off. And,
exactly.
And that reminds you of a gunshot or an explosion.
Exactly.
Okay.
I know people who experience that just from being in urban environments.
So that's exactly what I'm about to get to.
Yeah.
So let me explain the difference between like a post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, or just a regular, like you experienced something traumatic and you got over it.
Yeah.
So say if you got in a car accident, right? You got hit, you got T-bone, you survived, you're good. But you know what I mean? You're a little shaken up.
Shook you up, yeah.
Are you going to get up the next day and drive? Like, and feel comfortable?
Yeah.
Depends on the type of person I am. I am.
Nah, fam.
I mean, hey, yeah.
Well,
see, it's so funny because the way y'all answer, right? The way y'all answered.
We all answer differently.
Yeah, y'all did. But look,
you didn't even answer.
No, because it happened. You remember I got my car totaled recently going to San Antonio.
Wow.
It was raining, so I hit oncoming traffic. And it's funny because like people would ask me, I'm gonna let you because you was going to so you was going on. So I hit oncoming traffic, get out the car, and the first thing I did was I got out, I kicked the door open, and I made sure the other car was good. So I'm going, ambulance came, everybody came, and dude was looking at me like, kind of like, he's staring at me a little bit, and I'm chilling because I'm fine, I'm good, I'm straight, car's messed up, total.
The adrenaline still kicking in.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like figure out what the fuck happened. But checked on them, they good, everybody good. Call my dad, real calm. Hey dad, listen, I'm gonna call you first, I'm gonna call my mom, I'm not trying to freak you out. This happened, boom. Yeah. I knew my dad was cool with it, he told mom freaked out, as I thought. Cool. Yeah. Then call my girl last. Hey, I need you to pick me up. I was coming to see you, so I need you to just meet me. Yeah. Just here's my location. I'll explain later. Right. She freaked out. I never freaked out. Yeah. So people was like, I got different responses when I told people, but the funniest thing is just like how I felt so like even keeled through it. Yeah. And even afterwards, when it came to driving, I have like even now when it rains, I think about it a little bit, but I'm not like tripping that hard. But the crazy part is, I felt like I was like, I'm not even trying to exaggerate or make my like a story out of this, but bro, I feel like it was it. Like when I skidded and I hit the car.
Oh, not the ski,
bro. I thought that was it. Yeah, no, bro, I had no control.
I've had the same thing happen on the way to San Antonio.
So let me ask you that question. That's first of all, thank you for sharing that, and thank God you're alive. You know what I mean? Because that was life threatening.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like? So you called 3 different people, right? Why do you feel like you had to maintain that calmness?
That composure.
That's been my whole life, bro. That's just that, but and you know why? And I think obviously we'll get into it. Maybe we got to get deep in this, but
therapy.
I'm just very like even.
Yeah, I'm giving him accidental therapy.
Yeah, I'm very, very even keel, and I think that's because of I don't like invoking emotions that I don't have to. I don't like
Why?
because
Getting deep, y'all. My bad.
Why is my
get
favorite?
deep.
Why is my
No,
favorite
it's
question?
good.
Because this is good for Courtney. Courtney don't open up often. So
no, I
what better way
open
to
up. I open up, but I open up on my own accord. Like this is my thing, bro.
The
My
listeners
life,
are
I feel
listening.
like when it comes to like arguing, overstressing, I don't have to. So if I choose not to,
yeah.
I'm just not going to.
Yeah.
There's no situation ever, not to be a job or anything that's going to make me feel out of place. So I will remove myself from it. So when it comes to situations, it may sound silly. Some people a lot of people are like, damn, you're not mad at that, or damn, you're not this and that. I'm like, like when it's not in my control, like the car situation, it's not in my control. What could I have done different? I survived. God has some kind of plan for me to live. There's a reason. I can't, for me, psychologically, I make myself not dwell on that so I can like.
So is it
forward.
a conscious or a subconscious? Like, are you consciously like, I don't think about it, or is it you're saying like it's just your inherent nature to not?
It's been conscious for so long that I think now it's like it feels like it's not. Meaning, like I avoid that for so long, whether it be conflict or stress or anything.
that now that's just
That
how
now it seems like it's like
it's muscle memory.
Yeah.
You
Do
don't
you
even
feel
think-
like you have to maintain strength for other people?
that may be true. Maybe
Yes.
maybe it's just how I want to be perceived.
Yes.
I'm his best friend. Yes,
I
he
think-
definitely feels
I
that.
think-
And what's ironic is that he's the youngest of three brothers.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Very interesting, right?
I don't know.
And so you just said something that was key. Is it conscious or subconscious?
Yeah.
Our conscious actions become subconscious
That's true.
because it's just repeated.
If it's done over time, absolutely.
Yep,
Absolutely.
over time. And so, not to put you on the spot, but that example was perfect because what it did was describe how we will go through a whole bunch of trauma. That is trauma. That's traumatic. You almost
Facts.
dying is traumatic.
That's
That
a traumatic
actually fits into the
experience.
category of what we would consider to be PTSD if you develop those symptoms. But you're so trained to remain calm that you held that in. Now think about black people, all the things they're going through. We've seen what George Floyd's situation was. We've seen what all these, honestly, these killings that's been happening for years. We're taught to maintain strength. We're taught to keep it in.
That's facts.
So
It's
we're
hard,
dealing
too.
with trauma. That's just
We
been
as in
building
black-
up.
as in black people,
as
right?
black people.
All right.
Can
cool.
I ask a quick question, quick interjection?
Yes,
because
sir.
you saying that it resonated with me. It was on my frequency because
There we go.
I'll be honest, experiencing all of these like extremely hyper violent interactions with people, with me, and other, like, I guess authoritative figures, because it's not even always cops.
White people.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, oftentimes, but like Zimmerman wasn't, and that was that like that still singed in my memory.
He might as well have been white.
Pretty much facts. But I mean, stop, JT. You pulling me down. But no, big facts. Like, I don't know. Seeing all of this, man, I had a moment, and I'll be very candid. And I actually, it's dope because I'm in a situation where my team and my director, like we have a great rapport. Right. I've been rocking with them for like 8+ years, so we have a really, really good rapport. And so it was like I broke. I broke. It was any vessel that you pour into, and you're constantly being poured into from so many different stimuli these days. Every vessel is going to overflow unless you do something about it. I broke.
I broke down too.
Bro, I couldn't.
Cried.
It was. I couldn't
Pouring.
function. I'm in the middle. So mind you, this is during a pandemic. Just like stack up all the different like variables. Right. This is during a first time ever major health crisis event. I'm working from home. At this point, it's been months, but I've been working from home since March of 2020. All of this, right? I'm still acclimating to this new process. All of this on top, work. I mean, I'm working more now than I was in the office, arguably, in some ways, because that line is blurred.
Yeah.
All of this, I see this, and I'll tell you the exact moment. Like, I watched the video, and I'm just watching the life leave him. He yells out for my Dukes, I break.
Yeah.
And the dude's face, Chauvin was like,
Because you see a reflection of yourself within him.
it was
right?
me, and I didn't know Holmes was from the H. I'm from the North Side. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know Big Floyd, but that broke me. I saw my uncle, I saw my father. Like it literally, and it was tears of anger, frustration, hopelessness at the moment. I don't have those feelings necessarily all the time now, but then it was like, God damn, what can we do? Like again? And I couldn't work, I couldn't function, and thankfully, again, I had I guess I don't even know what to call it. It's not confidence. I had the thought to tell my like, yo, I can't work.
Yeah.
I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, I just give me. I can't. Right. But not everyone has that.
Your threshold broke finally.
Yeah. But like I think about my father, right? And when I say I have two, I have a stepfather who helped me, of course, was part of my tribe, and then my biological father. He works in manufacturing, and so he could. I mean, no, you got to like stay on the floor, Holmes. You got to work.
Yeah.
You don't have that. Oh, I got to take the rest of the day.
Because you're gonna be deemed as lazy, the lazy black man.
No, you're out of there. There's a lot of people waiting to get in here. You see what I'm saying? So I'm curious. I had that experience. I know Tizzle had a similar experience. And you fellas have that moment, because even just think about that. There's a panel full of young black men. I know there's shared trauma. There's generational trauma. We can get into all that, but like you brought up the George Floyd thing. That's something that really impacted me just on many levels. I think because of all the variables. And it was the first time I saw so many other people get it. I'm like, but damn, it took this for y'all.
But think about this though. We're as a society, as a community of black people, we're conditioned and taught to have to suppress things. And think about slavery. When a slave, quote unquote slave, messed up, right? He gets reprimanded in front of everyone.
Facts.
Either shot or beat. Exactly.
Get his ass in
And when they tell you, like,
let him hang and dry in the sun. Strange fruit. Yeah.
And you think they're gonna let you just sit and cry? Like, no, go back to work.
Oh yeah. Or you gonna be over there with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
God,
we're taught to suppress traumatic experiences.
Yeah.
And not just from oppressors, but also within our own community. You're weak if you don't express it.
Oh yeah.
You're weak. Like, what?
Big facts.
You're the weak one. Like, so you can't survive this, right? Because we're taught to survive, right? And so if you're taught to survive, you're taught to not be weak. If Courtney had after the accident called and was crying on the phone
To his lady?
yeah. You think like, and granted, it is okay because your life was in danger.
Oh, that's fine.
It's okay, but as a society, if he's telling that story, telling it to a bunch of boys, like, bro, I was bawling, crying, so I was in the back of my car in the fetal position.
He wouldn't even say.
I personally think that his family would be looking forward to that moment because he's always in the position to where he provides
or it would rattle the
foundation.
fuck out of him.
Yeah.
Facts.
Or it would
Like,
shake him.
who's
Like, what
this?
the hell's going on?
Yeah, like,
Son, are you okay?
Big fact.
Exactly.
But the thing is, though, it's funny because like my mom would be the first one to randomly, like tomorrow, call me or shoot me a text saying, it's okay. You don't have like just randomly, right? No, nothing happened, but it's okay. You don't have to stress out. God will find a way for you. Or maybe on Wednesday.
That's another thing. Well, we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
When's the last
Wednesday.
time you cried in front of your mother?
Bro, first of all, I'm not cold-hearted.
In a fetal position.
Ask the question.
I've cried in front of my parents.
When was the last time?
When I was a kid,
When you were what?
young, when I got a whooping and shit.
Okay,
Like,
no. I got better.
That was the last time you cried in
Forget
front of your
parents.
mother?
Forget parents. When's the last time you cried? Just let it good.
Did you cry for George Floyd?
no.
Nah.
And you were not required to.
No, not at all. And
I'm being honest. I did not. But obviously, it doesn't take away any of the feeling. But I didn't physically cry.
Yeah.
When was the last time you had like the ugly?
That's what I'm wondering.
I don't
wondering
know.
that.
You had the.
But when's the last time y'all like? What was that?
I can tell you right now.
I can tell you that it was
It wasn't even that.
within the past year. It was 3 moments. It was
These ugly cries?
Ugly. Like it was when I watched Soul.
The movie Soul?
Bruh, okay, wait, what?
Okay, wait.
I guess everybody. Look, I'm a creative, and that
You
movie
balled
touched
out
me.
like crying. I'm talking about ball out crying. Okay, what's the other two?
I'm talking about uncontrollable.
What's the other two?
The other time was George Floyd, and then the other time, and then the third time was when I flew home and touched American soil.
But bro, okay, that's like
So take soul out of it, and the other two.
No. Look, but I don't want to take soul out of it because I feel like that doc is going to touch base on it later on. But the reason why Soul touched me so much, and then Fruitvale Station, of course, watching that movie.
Yeah.
But the reason why
movies do
Soul
something
touched
to
me
you.
was because that was a reflection. Seeing Joe Gardner
You saw
reflect
yourself.
on all. I saw a reflection of myself, like reflecting back on all of those memories and those moments with my mother. Like my brother who acted as my father figure, and like connecting just with my inner self.
Yeah.
And my spirit by myself, you know, when I was in the dance studio or whatever, and seeing him like being by himself on the piano, like it was all of that. And that just brought me all back. And I hadn't visited that part of my of my spirit in a very long time. And so
that's amazing.
Seeing that on visually on the TV.
Okay,
It was so beautifully like conducted
That's
and,
amazing.
and portrayed that it brought me back to that to that distant memory that I had let go for a very long time.
That was an outlier though.
Yeah.
Like that. A movie hasn't touched you like that in quite some time.
And y'all niggas were ready to chop me up and make it.
No, I'm still ready to chop you up.
Yeah,
Just because.
Yeah.
But look,
that makes sense.
And this is why we're in this category of discussing feelings and issues and
Being vulnerable.
Yes, being completely vulnerable. Because at that moment, I was completely vulnerable. The only person that was there with me, of course, was wifey. You know. And
Let me ask you this question real quick.
Ask me. Come on.
Say if all your boys is there, your whole line, and
You're
that
not
joint
crying.
came on, are you gonna be balled up in a fetal position crying?
To be honest, I think me and the only reason why they say
You would have walked away, but you probably would have.
You went to the bathroom.
I may have. Look, there's a possibility that I may have walked away, but these two definitely know that I probably would have done that like right then and there. If I was in front of them, absolutely.
Yeah,
because these are my closest friends. These are my brothers. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, not just your brothers. Like, say, like, a few
These
people you
are-
don't know.
You at the movie theater right now. You at the movie theater.
oh
You see
yeah,
this.
I've done that too.
Okay, see.
So, hey, look,
Frugal Station. I was actually in the movie
honestly,
theater.
and that's good. That's important, right? And I think we are shifting. You mentioned something at the beginning. We are shifting to a point where we're starting to recognize
That's a
how
fact.
important mental health is, and we're starting to express ourselves a little bit more. What we need to make sure is the societal pressures or the societal stigmas shifts with that, right?
facts.
Meaning, if we're allowing ourselves to be more mentally vulnerable, the constructs of who a man is supposed to be and what constitutes a masculine person has to shift.
Shift with that. I like that.
Has to shift.
Now, I agree, but I think what I think about is like what, not what necessarily what influences me, but what influences a lot of black culture. And I think when it comes to music, when it comes to sports, football, you feel me? Like having that emotional availability in football, to me, it's like, I feel like we're so far, even in music.
Yeah.
Like, well, I will say this, we have grown into like pain music. Like everyone loves Rod Wave. You feel me? Like everyone loves
Talking about their struggle. And talking
yeah,
about
like
their,
that's the emotional
L's.
connection
Yeah.
that
Like
people.
Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD, yeah,
Yeah.
So you know, I kind of
the
correct
baby
myself.
talking about
Yeah,
his pops. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I see that, but it's also for me. I feel like it's that, but that's like tough to
But
me.
you gotta be careful with it. The music, though, you have a platform, and depending on how you express your pain, a person listening to that can internalize it in the wrong way.
In the wrong way. I agree. And it can lead to, I think, unhealthy behaviors on their part.
Because they're describing their pain.
Right,
They're
right.
talking about their pain. And so if you're listening to that, you're like, oh, I have the same pain. And what you do, you went out and shot somebody, or you went out and did this.
That's how
I'm supposed to express my pain.
Because think about this.
That's true.
Think about the connection that Tizzle had with that movie, right? It resonated with him such that he was curled up in a fetal position in the closet, and Sam came and rescued him. To the
Thank you,
point
Sam.
where, yes. So to that effect, it's like, what if somebody had that effect listening to Rod Wave or
I'm sure somebody does.
XXX Tentacion,
Yeah.
Jocelyn or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, Tentacion. So I mean, like, to that point, one thing I was gonna ask earlier, you're an asshole. One thing I was gonna ask earlier, as it pertains to emoting and, you know, being vulnerable, Tizzle showed his ass, and that's admirable, right? But like, we are conditioned not to.
For sure.
It was something you asked earlier, like about, I don't remember who asked about, when's the last time you cried in front of your people? Well, I hope I never cry in front of my mom and dad again. I don't want to cry in front of them.
Why?
Like,
D.
but I have, but I'm not afraid to, but I don't just want to.
Hold on,
If I
dude.
feel like crying, I'm not going to go cry to them.
Hold on, D.
Why not?
Can you look? This is a very sacred moment right now, and I know I might be treading on water. Like, do it like very, very thinly on
Ice.
a tight rope.
Okay.
However, like you have a perfect example that you can put on the airways right now.
Oh, wow.
With
With my brother?
yes,
So that's what I was getting to. So
Okay.
So we're talking about like crying in front of parents. You asked a good question. Why not? Well, I mean, so there's like, I think there's a couple things you have to unpack there. I think just as a black man, I've been conditioned to not, like you said, it's something really interesting that you took back to slavery, which I love, right? Is you have to literally
keep it moving.
Showing emotional response was a weakness.
Yeah.
That was, you
get punished for it.
You got punished for it. So you had to, your suppression of those feelings was a survival tactic that we internalized and kept going for years to come.
You just said a key word, survival tactic.
Facts. And that persisted, bro. Think about it. You learn from who you learn from, they learn from. It's a cycle. Generational trauma. We have been bred to be this way.
Yeah.
And so now here you go. There's a pivot point. There's been many along the way, but this is ours. I think there's definitely a mental health pivot right now where I think we're talking about it more. We're showing it more. This is the first time, like, that I've heard in professional lexicon, mental health day, where I can say, yo, I'm taking a mental health day. And they're like, okay, great. Go ahead.
That's a thing in corporate world now.
But listen, when I first entered, no, it was not a thing.
Yeah.
Neither was paternity leave. It was a laughable thing.
Mm-hmm.
I took paternity leave and I had to draft a paternity leave plan. It wasn't even a thing.
That's crazy.
I made a report. It was not even a thing. I think a plan for it.
Yeah.
Who's going to cover my this and that? And it was like a week or some shit, like 2 weeks. I don't remember. It wasn't even a month. But my point is, I love that you took it all the way back there because this is who we are because of that, which is dope. Well, actually, it's not. It's terrible. But I mean, it's dope to make that connection. So for me, this is even still new. I'm still developing emotional intelligence. And I say my ladies has a big role in that for me, especially when having a child, because you want her to be able to talk to you, right? Mm-hmm. One thing that was really interesting to me was, take your hand off the rod and talk to your kid, right? Breathe and tell me what's going on. And it works.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was trying something different. I don't like crying in front of my parents because I don't want them to, because I'm a parent now. Mm-hmm. I know how that feels. Mm-hmm. I don't want them if Jewel hurts, I hurt. Jewel's my daughter. Mm-hmm. If my people see me down, I know they're gonna feel it. They may not show it, but they're gonna feel it. Especially Mom Dukes.
Expound on that.
Yeah, what is feel it?
So,
what is feel
if
it?
they see me sad, they're gonna hurt. They're gonna feel that same sadness.
Do you think it's a sense of responsibility? Like they need to fix it?
I think it's an inherent paternal thing. I think. I mean, my mom's gonna want to fix it. My pops may just listen, right? But they're both gonna feel it and show it in different ways, or may not show it at all. But I don't even want to impact them.
Maybe you need to.
And I also know that they have their own emotional.
So you're protecting them by holding back something.
I do think it's protection of them.
But
now,
why can't they protect you?
They do. They always have. That's why I don't want.
Right.
That's why I don't want to
let them protect you.
But here's the thing.
That.
Here's the thing. And this is really interesting. This is good because I don't know. I've never really.
Yeah, we diving in. We asking why.
I can see his head spinning a little bit.
Again, another accidental error.
Loading animation up here. Pete, I will say this, and I'm glad I kind of put I planted the seed earlier. My lady has been that for me though. I've never. I would say never, but there was definitely a pivot point when my brother passed. So my brother passed away. A product of the streets is, living a lifestyle it's grimy. It's not fun, but I mean, amazing dude. But we'll likely unpack that, I'm not super detailed, but just the how that came up. Well, I'll tell a piece of it now. So the way it came about was people are, I think where I'm from, where we're from, have an inherent inclination to, it's always we have this antitrust thing. Even with our ladies, you trust no man, you know. And if you relinquishing trust is
weakness.
It's weakness. That's right. You keep your armor up. You don't put your guard down. That's the first thing you learn in a fist fight.
Yeah.
Don't put your guard down, home, because you'll get stuck in the face.
Yep.
So, or you better be fast, stick and move, something. Have a strategy, but don't put your guard down because you will get, you know what I'm saying? So I think for me, it was just always up. But, and it sucks because even now I have a hard time letting go of that. He was backstabbed from somebody from his own set. He was literally shot in the back from somebody in his own set. Right.
Wow.
And so,
we go in there, right?
And so, but here's the thing. That whole experience was, of course it hurt. You were mentioning the young lady who was a photographer and you felt you had a hand in that. You could have affected that. Mm-hmm. Man, I wanted to jump in, but that resonated with me because I had those same feelings toward my brother. I'm big bro.
Yeah.
And the thing that's really sour about it, we were in, and he had just been to Austin. This was around graduation time. we had just talked about like him like pivoting. He was looking at other programs like barber school, different things. And for it to happen in that season was like, I battled with that for so long, the why. Because I told you, why is my favorite question. Since I was a kid, I've always asked my parents, why? And it didn't always bode well for me, but like, I always ask why. I battled with that why for so long, bro. We talking about the Most High. I didn't get it. What? Like now? But I'll tell you, once I stopped asking why and, you know, kind of accepted that. And also like, you know, we're talking about therapy. I sought therapy because
That's what's up.
I mean, I had to, dude. I was in my head. I was
a round of applause for therapy.
Oh no,
Look at that black man getting therapy.
Yeah,
Look at
no,
that.
facts.
Absolutely. Hold on, let me
Beautiful.
Shout out to you for that.
Beautiful. For sure.
God damn it, Dino.
Yeah, later the board is done.
Nah, we still got to talk about that. That's beautiful. Get a therapist, y'all.
Yeah,
Go ahead. My bad.
No, and I think that's one thing I wanted to really, I don't know, kind of just lower the drawbridge, bro. Is like therapy is not something. I'm really glad we talked about the idea of crazy or like how we don't talk about it in our community. In my family, we talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like my uncle, my mom's, we talk about it. But like with my parents, the thing, real quick, and I'll punctuate it, put a bow on it with this. I did find reprieve and I found solace in my lady.
You just walked into the next point I was about to touch on, but go ahead.
Like during that whole season with my little brother, I knew I could let it all out in front of her. She held me. Like I knew it wasn't even a matter of, oh, I got to worry about looking. No, bro, you talking about ugly cry.
Fetal position or?
I didn't know I can look like that. Was that
fetal position cry or?
Oh,
you held
shit.
yourself
It
like,
was-
just hold me.
It wasn't even I mean, I guess fetal, but it was just like limp noodle. I couldn't even. It was just melted. Like
That's
I was
what I'm talking
I was
about.
melted candle wax. I'm still hard. You feel me? But it was like
Pause.
Yeah.
no, like hard like gangster. Y'all niggas. Anyways.
okay.
No,
not
real,
with you, man,
real
but-
spill.
You were crying, you were hard.
I was hard.
I get it.
That was my lady. You know what I'm
It hits
saying?
you hard.
Oh yeah. Oh, your lady was there.
She's holding you, got hard.
Hard. That was crying.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
What? That nigga's tripping.
That's the whole thing. Cry fetish. No, but real spill.
Wow. Cry porn?
That's cry porn. Is it?
Is it cry porn?
We'll ask Irma. We'll ask Irma.
You see a nigga laying in the living room crying. Some girl walk up, hey.
Oh, honey. Yeah.
You need a therapist?
I love your emotional intelligence.
Hey yo, where did this go? Boy, if you don't get
My bad. Listen to
Okay, anyway, so my lady, I'm crying on my lady, right? But no, real spill, I just ended there because I do think there is something there. I'm thinking about the wheels are spinning. My parents, yeah, you're right. There's no reason I should have to protect them. But my lady, I never, she was always the outlet.
So you just walked into, like I said, a really, really good point. One thing I want to ask y'all gentlemen is like this. So what do you think happens, right? We're suppressing all this pain, right? You go to work. We, our white boss cusses us out, or we feel like there's this passive aggressive tension going on. We're seeing George Floyd. We're seeing what's happening in the community. You may get stopped by 2 cops. You know what I mean?
It's terrifying.
And of course, the woman, the black woman, is experiencing so much trauma.
Oh, facts.
Right? What they say?
Sometimes from us.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get there.
Yeah.
So we're out in this world experiencing all this trauma. We have to keep it in, and then what do we do when we're with our lady, when we're with our partner? We spill it on each other.
Yeah.
And that's and then now
good.
we have this broken household.
Yeah.
Because of something that we've all been trying to suppress.
Yeah.
We didn't yell back at our boss. We didn't tell them how we really felt. We go home, we're going to tell our girl how we really feel about that sorry mac and cheese. Because she made crafts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
hey, yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
no, I feel that's very interesting.
And
too.
you're wondering why it's
hamburger helper for dinner.
why, how come black women's like, how come I feel so disregarded, I feel so disrespected,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then we're looking back and saying, why she can't, you know what I mean? Why she not respecting me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, you're looking for respect because you aren't able to feel that way on the outside in the world. And you're coming in trying to pull that out of your partner. And she's like, I've been disrespected. I just need to have a little bit of power. Just relinquish that. You just have some kind of power here.
Yeah.
And y'all are going back and forth, just feeding each other the trauma that you've been experiencing in the world.
Hey, that's real. That's real. Just regurgitating trauma to each other.
That's it.
It's better.
That's what I've been trying to exercise more in my relationship, in my marriage, is to allow more vulnerability, but to also allow my spouse, my partner, my wife to have that leverage over me, to be able to have that sense of urgency and the mantle of protection.
Creating a safe space for her,
right,
for each other.
Creating a safe space, but also enabling her to have the responsibility to take care of me, you know?
How do y'all do that? Like, how does she make you feel that way? Or in what way does she make you feel
how do I give her that responsibility?
How are you allowing her to take care of you?
Why does she have that?
When I have those vulnerable moments.
What does that look like?
Because, okay, so most of the time, like, I'm dictating and making like the, or not dictating, I'm sorry, for lack of a better term, I'm making more of the financial decisions, the daily decisions of like how we're conducting the day, how we're going to set our weekend, how we're going to set like our vacations and whatnot. I'm doing a lot of the planning.
You're the planner.
You know, I'm the household honcho.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
Sounds Quavo.
yeah. Oh yeah. And then but you know, and then whenever she's going through things or whenever she's had a bad day, I'm right there to, you know, hold her, to carry her, to catch her, and to just be a listening ear. And most of the time, you know, me naturally, I just provide like, you know, insight on what I would do in that situation. But most of the time, women just need to hear, just want you to be there to hear and hear them out and just to listen.
Yep.
But, you know, I don't voice my gripes and my grievances and my frustrations daily with her.
Why?
And that's just because of the responsibility of the upkeep of a man of the household. And I've always been that.
Well, do you feel like you'd be weak if you did?
No, not necessarily. I just don't feel like that things would get done as productively as I would like.
Why not?
And I mean, just because I'm selfish in that realm. God, man, you getting deep, man. That's good.
Hey, but look, you walking into therapy by accident.
Hey, Mr. Somebody had to say it. I'm gonna put it all on the line.
There you go.
I feel like I honestly feel like that it won't be necessarily things, and it's not even just with wifey. It's with, you know,
So
my
I was
brothers
gonna
on the
ask,
podcast.
who do you, so you said, oh, no, I'm not going to get it at the scene.
Everybody.
I'm going to leave it at the front door. I'm not bringing it home. So who do you give it to? You got to give it to somebody or you're going to what?
You sound like Courtney.
Who do I get? I give it to wifey. I give it to my mother at times. My mother hasn't seen me cried or vulnerable.
You sound just like Courtney, bro.
As often,
like
but
all of us.
she has seen me often.
like all of us.
She's seen me more recently than Courtney. Courtney's expressed that his mother hasn't seen him, you know, vulnerable since he was a kid.
But I think your mom could probably count on two hands how many times she's seen you cry in your life.
My mother would like for me to be able to rely on her a little bit more.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
With that, because okay, as far as I've known you, you have been a person that always wanted to have. I feel like you talk about me being secure and safe. I think that is the epitome of JT. Like, no, and let's be real.
Having a plan and a backup plan.
Like,
and a plan
but
of
I always thought, I never brought it up or asked you about it, but it's not just like everyday stuff. Like you from. Like the military was something that you knew for a fact. Like you do this, you get out. You had a plan. You had a plan from like 2010, like 2014. You told me exactly where you're going to be at this. And I was just like, why is he like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you feel so that you need to have a security with all of your plans and everything?
Everything, yeah.
And I always thought it was interesting, and I think this is a good time to ask. Where do you think that comes from? Because I know you have a very strong mother.
It's a good question, yeah.
But
He giving accidental therapy too.
Yeah, I mean, but it's because
It's a great question.
Why
It's a
is
great question. Excellent question.
Sackey like working without even saying anything? Like he got us all talking and opening up.
I know, right?
It's a low-key group
Why do
therapy
I
session.
feel like, look, man, like it's
charge. I got sold for the good.
Asking the real question.
I know, right?
Why you punched me in third grade, dog?
Yeah. Well, you say my breath thing.
The short answer is my mother, single parent, our entire lives that we've witnessed, and you know, I've had to witness that. I've had to, you know, I had a front row seat to seeing her struggle to keep, you know, 4 children thriving as much as she could in Greens Point, Texas, you know, AKA Guns Point.
Stop it.
And I not only wanted to make a better lifestyle for myself and the village that I was going to build on my own. But I wanted to be able to give back. That's the whole reason why I came back to Houston. That's the whole reason why I wanted to get us three together, because we shared like the very similar, unique backgrounds.
Go
We
listen
have
to
a
episode
lot.
3.
Yeah, we have a lot in common, and
So
on
connecting
top of-
through trauma.
right.
Like even
It's all
we
connected
talked
to
about this
trauma.
in like
So like you guys are
come back to-
connecting
Yeah.
because of the similar traumas you may have experienced.
I mean,
That's why
trauma,
we have
but
this
also like
podcast, man.
successes
There you go.
and victories as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
of
You know what I'm
course.
saying? Like we all went to the same PWI, we all went to the same high school, and that's both trauma and success. Hey, thank you. Made out the same area, same hood, but like it's yes, it's connected by trauma, but then like I'm a person who really loves to celebrate even the small victories. We're also connected by
What you just said is the starting point is the trauma, right?
yeah.
But without even saying any of this, y'all never probably even had. Well, I don't know, but I don't know how deep y'all have gotten to like y'all past together, right? Just talking about it and like intentionally. But the beauty of group healing is, especially we don't talk about how we're healing or what we're even going through, or how do we all meet in this room right now. You connected off of something intangible, and because of that connection, you're able to slowly heal because you're dealing with it, right? And you're able to celebrate those successes. Like those are the successes. The successes is y'all individually overcoming some of the past trauma. You said you saw your mom struggle. You don't want to see that again, right? And I'm sure again you have the protective mentality as well. And same thing with you, with your brother, protective mentality.
Facts.
Y'all all are dealing with something that has happened traumatically in the past, but your individual successes, going to this amazing schools, getting an amazing job, this beautiful home, like y'all are succeeding through some of the past things y'all experienced. That's true. And that is it's a silent healing process, right? But what we don't do is name it. We don't name what we're doing right now. We don't name that, man, my mom did this and that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I've been through this and that's why I don't want to share certain things or show certain things to my wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's kind of scary though.
It is
because
scary.
the things that we treat as a society have names.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And you can't, that's why like this whole prevalence of like everybody has ADHD, everybody got some form of, well, I do think everybody has some form of anxiety, but like when you slap labels on people who have experienced similar things, like every black kid now has ADHD and has to take Adderall. Like everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's interesting. That's an interesting point I hadn't thought about. What do you call that?
And so, well, first of all, nobody wants to be, especially I think as a black community, nobody wants to be labeled something. However, we like to put on costumes. I might get too deep here, but
No, it's too deep.
All right.
I personally
Go get the. All right. Go.
When
All right.
Halloween comes around, I'm ready.
For black people, Halloween's every day.
It's every day.
So look,
Every day.
spooky season, right? So we have to, in a sense, we have to present ourselves in a way that is as acceptable as we can.
Talk about it.
Acceptable.
To society, right?
Code switching.
Code switching.
Code switching is real.
My white voice is fire.
Oh, mine is, boy, stop.
My voicemail is fire.
My white voice is fire, bro.
Thomas,
So
thank
even-
you for calling.
Yo, even this
International
right here
Enterprises.
is an amalgamation of like Mimi and my my corporate voice. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah. So like,
Called the White Devil.
What did you say?
I've been specifically called the White Devil because someone thought I was white.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Sheesh.
That's crazy.
Tub of mayonnaise.
That's JK and Poppy in the background, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all go ahead and follow him on Instagram. Is that even your name? No,
Jimmy C.K.
Jimmy CK.
But look, so
Switching it up on us.
So we're so used to putting on costumes, quote unquote, right? Now I'm gonna say something that's probably gonna it's probably controversial,
Talk.
but it's gonna hit home for y'all.
No, let's get it.
All right. So like I said, black people, I feel like we have to do things, we have to put on certain things to identify why we're important, right? Why we should be valued,
I see where
right?
you're going.
It's like you're going behind something. Like it's like I can't just give you the raw me, right? I can't just talk black. I have to put on the front. I have to put something in front of me. I have to wear a white coat for you to respect me.
There has to be
right?
something to.
So now listen, fraternities, right? Mm-hmm. Do white people have fraternities as well in college?
Yeah, of course.
Black people got it, right?
Yeah.
Who holds on to it longer?
What do you mean?
Who? What?
Who holds on to their fraternity longer throughout their life?
Black folks.
Oh, in life. I say black folks.
people.
For sure.
Yeah.
You get branded.
Y'all rep that? Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a certain element to this that I don't think many people talk about, but there's a certain element of saying, I'm a Q, I'm a Kappa. It's another way to represent yourself and say, I am important because of this.
We even put it in our Instagram description.
There you go.
Very
bios.
interesting.
There you go. We hold on to those caricatures of ourselves much longer than our white counterparts. They feel like they can be just them. I'm John. I was in Pi Sigma Rho.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And that's why I met Johnny.
That's how I met. You know what I mean?
That's
But
real.
black people were like, nah, I'm a Kappa.
You
dog.
cut for that. You bleed for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's-
you know what I mean? Gang affiliation.
It's a
Can we talk about how the fact of fraternities and gangs are the same thing?
It is.
Like getting put on the blood set is the same as getting put on the Kappa set, bro.
It's not, bro.
You taking?
All right, so you triggered them now. Look,
No,
you're like,
I
all right, bro.
I actually came up where I can run you the knowledge. Like I can
there ain't
actually
no
run that.
bloods listening to the show.
Right. No. What you say? No, I hope there are because they know. I ain't finna shout at the
But I feel like, nah, bro.
I don't bang.
What them
I don't
rappers
bang,
talking about?
But I came around it. But listen, I'll give you 3 easy things. 3 easy things. Boil it down to 3 bullet points because I can be verbose.
Here we go.
Y'all throw up a
The
hand
yo,
signal.
I get it,
That's
the yo.
No, this a B.
I'm saying it's the, but I get what you're getting at, the correlation between the B and the yo. The yo is
That's just
what
one.
we throw up.
That's symbology.
Yeah, but it's a diamond. It's the
and
point.
the color and the sound and some knowledge you have to know. Or you get violated, and the process you go through that oftentimes is physical. But of course, y'all non-hazing organizations, sort of Bloods and sort of Crips. But it's the same thing. I've lived it. Like,
But they don't step though. Do Blood step?
they be walk and see, bro. We got.
Would they be a step show with like Bloods and Kappas?
Wow. I saw that Stage Breakers in like 2000,
I'm
maybe
paying for that.
2003. It happened. Yo, that was good, bud. Because listen, I used to stay at YPA in middle school.
Throw balls in the blood. Hey, if I see a step show with
What's up now, partner?
Yo, it happened in Austin. It happened at Club, was it Crucial?
Yeah, crucial. Yeah.
A blood broke a Capistro. He broke lines. He didn't know that was a bad
they
thing.
didn't step it out.
No.
There was a fist fight that spilled into Sixth
I'm
Street.
talking about a step show. I'm talking about competition battle.
Oh, no.
Like you got served. Like I'm talking about like
They
a
don't step,
legit
but
battle.
they have like, think about it, they have dances. There's Seawalk that became commercially successful. That was them niggas like, that was their shit.
Wow,
Like,
you made a
y'all
point.
shimmy?
So they do got
Seawalk. Yes, they do.
said shimmy, yes.
Keep going. I can give you parallels for everything. I've already
but
had this
there
intellectual discussion with it. Like,
There are parallels, obviously.
Yes.
Gangs have been a thing since before fraternities were a thing.
and they started of noble, like, pure
They both
intuition.
have the same. They have the similar ideology. You got OGs. I get it. I get what you're getting at.
And they
But
started of noble
Guys,
intention.
we're not going to get into the history of gangs.
They started of noble
and
intention. They
fraternities
started
and
to
whatnot.
protect their neighborhoods.
Let's put a bow on,
There were
on the
social
black,
organizations.
on black men and
We'll
women.
pick that up
and
later.
trauma.
We'll pick that up later. That's
And
a good
let's get into intimate
pick that up later.
relationships.
There we go.
Intimate relationships. Doc, you got to help navigate us through this category because the question is, how do we navigate through our relationships? You touched base a little bit on it earlier as far as how we're pouring each other's trauma on each other into our relationship to the point where that becomes our relationship. How do we navigate through that? How do we navigate through talking and opening up to our significant other when it comes to our stress and our issues that we have underneath so many layers of black skin?
Yeah. It starts with vulnerability. Sorry, my bad. Being vulnerable, right? So the first step in anything related to healing is acknowledging.
Yeah.
You have to recognize that something is wrong. If not, you're just going to continue about your pattern day. Every day is the same.
Yeah.
Never wrong. Oh, I never cried in front of my girl. Never wrong.
Yeah.
You have to recognize that, hey, something is wrong with the way this is moving.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not happy when I go to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm upset when I wake up. Cool. we have a great relationship. And I mean, this is how it's supposed to be. Baby boy. I mean, like, this is cool. This is
There's
normal.
a normalization of toxicity.
Exactly. So when you normalize it, you can never recognize that something's wrong.
Yeah.
So the first step is to recognize that something is wrong. And then you have to determine, make that decision like we are just doing now, like being open with exactly how we feel.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'll put the responsibilities on men. We have to open that door. We have to create that safe space to allow intimacy to occur. Women that naturally, they speak a different language, right?
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Women are going to be able
Mars.
to, right. They're going to be able to express themselves in a certain way that men purposely shy away from.
Or don't understand.
There you go.
Question.
Yes.
Go actually finish your point.
So biologically, we are different, right?
Yeah.
Biologically, women are able to tap into certain emotional levels that men can't traditionally, right?
Yeah.
We're not talking about like the variances, because we know that there's so many variances in that, and it's a spectrum, really.
Yeah, facts.
But biologically, right? That's how you kind of separate the two. But true intimacy, right, is being able to share how you feel in all spaces. The only way to, like, what does intimacy look like? What is intimacy to you? Like when somebody says, "Oh, intimate,"
Being
intimate
close.
is close. There we go.
Closeness.
Closeness, right?
Proximity, yeah. Not, I mean, physically and like emotionally, hopefully, for at least for me, spiritually, it's proximity.
Right.
You have to let somebody in.
You let somebody in.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Intimacy is letting
It's not
someone
easy,
in.
though. I'll be honest.
Of course not easy. But it's like, in order to let somebody in, remember what you said about your guard up?
Yeah.
You gotta put that down.
You got to put it down. That's
But
the
we're not
thing.
gonna put it
You
down.
might get stuck in the face, though.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If she laughs at you,
Oh, that's a punch. That's a right
that's
hook.
your trauma right there. You're like, I would never open up to a girl again.
Woo!
You know what I mean?
Facts.
So the intimacy, therefore, you're guarded. Therefore, intimacy can never really happen because you're if you don't put your hands up, you're gonna be weak. You're not a real man.
So then, to that perspective, I feel a bit counter to what. Like, I think I disagree.
D, hold on.
I think it's. You say it's the man's responsibility.
I think-
it sounds
I think
like
it-
you just made it sound like it was the woman's too.
No. So what I'm saying is that the man, I think, is the man should open that door.
Okay.
You know what I
got
mean? The man. So as a man, right, we could take what we already have in society as the man is the protector, the provider.
Yeah.
And I mean, biblically, it says it. Yeah, even biblically, like, I mean,
Facts.
so it is up to us to create that open space. You know how they say, like, you create your home.
Yeah.
You know, you create the home that you want to live in,
Facts.
right?
Yeah.
So creating that emotional space that you want to live in.
I feel that.
Question though. So, from a relationship standpoint, the way you brought it up earlier, I thought it was interesting though. You saying like how we live our lives and everything happens, right? You go to work, you get pissed off at work. You go here, you get pissed off there. You bottle up a lot of stuff and then you bring it back home. And my question is, from a mental health perspective, should we be better at addressing problems from a mental health perspective outside of just relationships? So I want to bring it back home to relationships, but in order to have a healthy communication and a healthy open relationship, rather than bringing that stuff home and communicating with your partner, I think one thing that people don't do is address that mental health, or maybe address whatever situation happens if it's at work. Like it's just not really heard of to say if your manager is consistently doing this, that, or that, or whatever.
Yeah.
To address that, because sometimes there's obviously a fear, right? Or there's could be plenty of examples. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on kind of getting that clarity and then coming home and then maybe having a more clear conscience and not being able to have that bandwidth to listen and X, Y, and Z?
So everyone should have a therapist. Like most people, what they say, like, where's your doctor? Like everyone should have a primary care doctor, right?
I don't understand why insurance doesn't like cover that.
That's a problem because we don't recognize mental health.
Some do partially.
Some do. They're starting to.
Mine covered a certain number of sessions, and I had to pay like a copay, just like a PCP, like, like $10 or some shit, 13, 12, something like that.
So mental health is modernly recognized as a significant health risk.
Yeah.
So we don't look at, like, everyone here, I'm sure, probably has some kind of doctor you go to if you need a physical or whatever, right? You know what I mean?
Well,
why don't we have regular therapists? Like, you have a doctor for your body. What about your mind?
Doctor for your mind. You got a doctor for your that's
Hey,
facts.
and you said something. I'll keep interjecting.
It's perfect.
But you mentioned how your example with the young black man, the veteran, 22 years old, you came in, you let your guard down, and you talked to him. The thing that stuck with you is that you said that they wasn't feeling me. So I think I want to ask you, you know, so me and my girl actually have done couples therapy. Like, we're not married or anything yet.
Go ahead, yeah. We gotta
give you one of these.
Round of applause, man. That's beautiful.
But a lot of times it wasn't a black therapist. So my question for you is, how do you feel about you being in the space? What does it look like? What is the landscape? Is there a lack of African Americans that are being therapists that could actually kind of maybe resonate with people who really need to seek that therapy?
It's a very difficult situation. I'll answer it like this. First of all, there's a problem that there's not enough black therapists, black individuals in the mental health space, right? That is a problem that we're trying to solve. And I try to actively advocate for people to really get into this field. But what I represented to that black man that you just brought up was just someone that was willing to hear him, allow him to be vulnerable, right? All I did was just advocate for his mental health, which we all can do.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Doc, you want to go ahead and just put a bow on like when it comes to intimate relationships, like as far as like navigating through them?
For sure.
The key is opening up to each other, being more comfortable, being that conformality and vulnerability of opening up to each other, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's a basic principle. It's just acknowledging that, hey, this is toxic. You know what I mean? Like what we're doing, what we think is normal is not normal. It's not healthy. It's not sustainable. Again, everyone should have a therapist. You have to be able to have an outlet.
And not letting Instagram and social media being our outlet, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it sounds cool to go on Instagram and put like, you know what I mean? I'm free. Nothing's going to bother me. Like Nipsey said.
That sound good.
Yeah, it sounds good. You think you're letting it out, but you're not.
Yeah.
All you're doing is just projecting your pain out to the world.
That's a fact.
But not letting it heal.
I mean, I told these guys.
Let somebody respond to it and roast you like, man, shut your...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That part. No, really, that part.
Yeah.
Because I tell them all the time, for me, this is therapy. I tell them that all the time. This is therapy for me.
Yeah, you have said that
And
before.
we hope
This
it's
is therapy
therapy
for
for
me.
our listeners, by the way, as well. Like, if you're still listening to the episode at this point, we appreciate you and we want to hear more from you. Let us know your thoughts by contacting us at contact@POTNASpodcast.com. That's contact@POTNAS podcast.com. Just wanted to put that plug right there.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Doc, we appreciate you, providing all your insight in regards to, black trauma, intimate relationships, and just dealing with stress on a day-to-day basis. At this point, we want to kind of like give you the floor to provide any recommendations or takeaways.
Yeah.
Any exercises that you recommend, like websites that you recommend us visiting, meditations, anything that you want to provide.
For sure. So I never got to it in the beginning as far as what I do. So I'm actually a psychopharmacologist, right?
Hold on.
And
don't run past that.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
You're right.
Psychopharmacologist. Like I mentioned, pharmacy school was my background. Got my doctorates at Howard, and I went into the psychiatry field. So kind of just putting those words together, psychopharmacologist.
I like that.
So what's interesting about my role is that I'm not here to push meds. What I'm actually doing is analyzing whether you even need medications. I get a lot of patients who come to me from doctors who just like prescribe me whatever. Like, yeah, take this Zoloft, take this Prozac, and I've encountered so many patients where I'm like, bro, you don't need that. Like, how often are you exercising? What is your diet like? What is your environment like? How do you cope? Let's solve those things first before just throwing a medication at the problem. Yeah. And so one of my biggest, like my first approach whenever I have a veteran or a patient in my office, we talk about your day-to-day. What does your day-to-day look like? What are you doing? You have to recognize that God constructed our bodies to be able to heal itself, right? We have the tools in order to be able to manage the things that we're dealing with. But a lot of times we choose the shortcuts and we then adapt to that shortcut.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Now, it is. And what the caveat to this is there are certain situations in which we've gone beyond our ability to help ourselves.
Yeah.
That's when you have to take the next step of intervention, which is either like medications, right? Sometimes you may have to go to a psych unit, and that's okay for a few days.
Yeah.
So there are moments where you hit that, but we weaken our body's ability to handle stress when we jump to those shortcuts.
Yeah.
And that includes alcohol.
Of course, yeah.
That includes alcohol. I mean, like, we're like, oh, I'm in pain. Alcohol solves it.
Yep.
Oh, I'm in pain. Let me go to a club and, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't even realize we're doing that to ourselves.
We don't. Those are shortcuts just as much as a person may think like the doctor just put me on Prozac. It's the exact same thing as you picking up a bottle to drink because you feel bad. You're choosing something to cover up a pain, or not cover up a pain. You're choosing something to help solve a problem,
to cope with this.
That could have been solved with earlier steps. So medications have a role for sure, and I believe in them when they need to be used.
Yeah,
I saved a lot of lives that way. Now, what I do want to make sure I present to y'all and the listeners is that there are things that you guys need to do on a daily basis to maintain your mental health. One, how many hours of sleep are y'all getting?
Oh,
You want us to answer? Or
I need to answer. Let's start with Courtney.
Oh, don't ask me, bro. I get maybe 4 hours per day. I go to sleep at about like 2:30
a.m.
and I wake up at like 9. It's bad for me, bro.
All right, so sleep is trash right here.
Yeah,
All right.
it's terrible. I try actually. I work out. I'll try to work out in the morning.
Oh my God.
But sometimes I don't make it because I just don't sleep.
If I woke up at 9, I would not be sitting here because I'd be experiencing homelessness right now. So
But his job is like unique. He's a medical consultant.
I love it. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So
you know,
I set my own schedule. It's not every day. I mean, sometimes I wake up at, you know what I'm saying, 6 or 8.
And this nigga just decided that he wanted to argue with me, talking about, bro, like, you're not the only one that works out in the morning. I wake up at 6 a.m. I'm like, Courtney,
I do.
No.
I just said it. I just said sometimes I wake up at 6 to work out.
9. Dino, go ahead.
I'll tell you right now, Doc, my sleeping habits are trisna-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, I go to bed around the same time. I cannot fall asleep before midnight.
Just answer the question. What time?
Between midnight and 2. Damn, nigga, let me get there.
Midnight and 2. And what time do you wake up?
Yeah, nigga.
We know.
Between midnight and 2. But see, I have a little one, so I cannot sleep past 6:30, maybe.
Yeah,
like max. So what's that, like 4 hours of sleep?
4 hours, so 6 hours.
We got
but that's
4.
normal.
We got like
I drink
4.5.
hella energy drinks and coffee. I'll be honest.
That's it's not
No, it's
open that
terrible.
bottle, but yeah.
Tizzle
It's terrible.
goes to sleep around 9 to 10 o'clock and then wakes up at 5 a.m.
Baby
So
hours.
I get the most adequate amount of sleep out of the 3, only because I prioritize my rest. I know, I learned that, like, the moment that I entered the military, and it wasn't even just the military.
Had to sleep and
was
wake up
just
at a certain time.
other things that other factors in my life
Good point.
that made me
That got you on
realize
track.
like how important sleep and rest for the body
Self-correction.
is.
There we go. That's
it's
your body.
It's my mental capacity. You know, it's the bandwidth that I needed.
So who knows the amount of hours an adult person, male or female,
requires?
needs in order to maintain a stable mental health?
Is it
6
7?
to 8.
I think it's 7.
You're close.
Right?
7.5.
Oh,
7.5
finally.
hours. You need to get 7.5 hours of sleep. So all those, I sleep when I'm dead, dog.
Yeah, that's so
Like,
silly.
wait, you talking about like REM sleep, right?
I mean, well, if you're sleeping healthy, right? Meaning unassisted sleep, right? And that's there's variations to that. You should be getting REM sleep. You should be getting a decent amount of REM sleep, but you're not in REM the whole 7.5 hours.
Yeah, it's cycles.
It goes through exactly.
Yeah.
It goes.
I don't even know what REM means. I just said
Rapid eye movement stage.
I don't know what.
The delta wave.
It sounds good, right?
Oh, you mean the delta waves? I get it.
Are you in deep sleep or you rimming?
Right? Are you REMing? So that's one, right? So sleep. The other thing that plays a huge role in your mental health is exercise.
And that's what I do.
Exercise. So people think exercise, oh yeah, I run and I feel euphoric and I just clear my head, dude. Like what happens is you're forcing blood to your brain.
Endorphins too? No?
I mean, but this what happens. So every organ in your body needs blood, right?
Adrenaline, I was looking for that.
Right? Every organ, because blood is what, it's like
Life
your
force.
Yeah. It's like your supply.
Yeah.
So your brain is an organ, just like your heart, just like your lungs. It cannot function without blood. The way to push blood, because gravity, right? We're standing here right now. blood naturally is going to pull away from your brain.
Yeah.
The way to push blood to your brain is through exercise because your heart is pumping harder and it's pushing blood.
Push-ups.
I'm so glad that you explained it and in that context and with that detail.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
And that what it's doing is allowing your brain to perform optimally, meaning creating endorphins. Actually, what it's doing is creating the chemicals that medications try to do.
Oh, yeah.
Medications are trying to help push out these chemicals. That's why I said, like, are you exercising? Are you sleeping?
Yeah. Doc, my left arm ain't working. Well, are you exercising?
Exactly.
Well, no.
Exactly.
What are you doing?
That's true,
I'm laying on the couch on my left arm.
This guy. Those chemicals occur naturally in our bodies. You're absolutely right.
Exactly. And all the medications they're doing is helping those chemicals to release.
Yeah.
And or maintain at a space or a level that is adequate to deal with stress.
Yeah.
So that's why when you work out and you go for a run, you have a little bit of mental clarity. You're like, all right, now I can
some
deal
people
with this.
lifting or whatever.
Yeah.
I personally work out all 5 days of every weekday.
We get it, JT.
Damn, I sleep all the time.
I go to bed at 9 o'clock. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning
I
sharp.
just need to let the listeners know. I mean, this is why
We know
I'm
you're
your favorite partner.
perfect.
You know, I'm not perfect.
JT is doing everything right.
Hey, he's 2 of 2 though.
Yeah, nah.
He's 2 of 2. He gets his sleep. He gets exercise.
Let me hear the rest
This is
of
the next
this.
one.
What's the triage? Sex life?
This is the next one. Your diet. You are what you eat.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're fired. Hey, they gotta bust some
Gushers right now, like
because you was down in the
You eat like shit,
You got a mega box of gushers.
honestly, I'm not a candy head, but I love cookies.
Cookies
Nigga.
and Cajun pasta. This nigga eat cafe wine 3
I
times
do.
a week.
No, I do not.
And you're in Houston.
I would too. If I stayed over here, that 7 days a week.
Oh yeah, you hit that 7 days a week. What's up to the Bojangles biscuit?
I actually had that before, bro.
Yo, it's
and
It's buttery, right?
bro, it's actually really good.
Okay,
Stop.
hold on,
absolutely.
Doc. Dr.
Bubble
Sackey,
butter
like
biscuits.
Brian, I think we need the
Somebody
most
said
help.
Sebi?
I think black people need, minorities in general, just need the most help with that category. Is the diet. Is that the last point, by the way?
No, there's one more accurate.
Americans eat like shit. We're the fattest country in the planet. And
We fatty
And
fatties.
black communities. Oh, don't let me get there. Black communities, you know, they throw certain foods, certain
Fried foods,
right?
oils, bacon grease,
Anything with trans fat.
we eat pig's feet and snout.
bacon, ham.
So we are in an environment where what we see is what we eat.
Yeah.
But so essentially, the reason why you are what you eat, right? Because I don't like to just say it and you're like, oh yeah, we are what we eat. Oh yeah, mental health, we good. The real reason why is this, right? And I'm not trying to get too technical, but this is actually what happens scientifically.
Yeah.
Do you know that your stomach is connected to your brain? Right? This is a communication mechanism.
Indirectly.
I did not know
Is it
that
everything
until
connected
you
to
said
everything?
that.
It is, right? But there's
Your
a
neck
direct
bone connected to
nerve.
you.
Thigh bone.
Facts. They taught me that in kindergarten.
Right. So like there's actually a direct communication from your stomach to your brain. It's called the vagal nerve.
Did not know that.
The vagal nerve is actually the only nerve from your brain, your cranial nerves, that goes to your stomach. The others don't. Right? They're all in the cervical area, right in your brain. So that vagal nerve goes down. So y'all ever heard of like, I got a gut feeling? You get butterflies in your stomach?
Yeah.
You think butterflies in your stomach is
Damn,
it's
that's
just
crazy.
out of nowhere? Like you actually feel
like
butterflies in your
when
stomach.
you're nervous,
Right?
the brain sending it to
That's
the-
anxiety. That's your stomach. That's your brain communicating to your stomach.
I just leveled up.
And so we know there's a direct communication. In fact, the
Interesting.
serotonin that we always try to increase with medications, majority of it is made in your stomach. So I did research on the gut-brain axis, which is talking about how the brain communicates with your stomach. And so what happens is you have good bacteria and bad bacteria, right?
Yeah.
The good bacteria is responsible for creating some of the neurotransmitters that our body naturally needs, like serotonin.
Yeah.
So if you eat certain foods, if you disrupt your gut, right, and the good bacteria is gone, you're not being able to create some of those natural elements that your brain needs in order to deal with stress.
Yeah.
That's why if you eat that box of greasy Popeye's chicken sandwich,
But if you eat
you
that,
won't feel sloppy. You won't feel good for the moment.
Yeah, but you'll feel
fat-
sloppy afterwards,
So I'm
though.
tell you something. So chocolate, fat, they give this quick a non-sustainable burst of endorphins.
Yeah.
Chocolate
I felt
especially.
it before.
Damn.
That's why chocolate actually came from the notion that we know that chocolate actually can make you feel happy. So that's why they started doing it. So Valentine's Day,
Oh, cut it
make your
out.
girl happy.
Bro, I literally have a box of Tiptree's chocolate chip cookies over there, and
It's gonna make you feel some endorphins.
I mean, it's good in moderation, right? I mean, you could.
Yeah, it's in moderation, but the thing is, you get a quick burst of happiness, but everything that goes up must come down.
yeah, big facts.
That quick burst goes right back down to a low. And so the what you're eating, right? What you need to do is create a stomach environment or create an environment for your body that allows it to operate at the best
Optimum efficiency.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like
Optimal
that.
efficiency and it's sustainable. Not just a quick chocolate chip, not just a mega pack of fruit gushers.
Yeah.
And a roll up. I feel like I saw a fruit roll up somewhere. You got a fruit roll up too?
we need green beans.
That's what y'all stop.
We need spinach.
They stop at Gushers.
asparagus.
The greener,
We need-
exactly.
The
so
greener,
one
the
game,
better.
one game I tell people is juicing. I do. Once I learned and realized that your stomach and your body, what you feed your body, it directly affects your mental health. I started doing juicing every other day, or juicing every other week.
Are you juicing the same types of things? Like,
So I mix it up. Like I would get. So I buy the product, right? Like all natural juicing, celery, spinach, kale. And maybe so I do that because I'm not a natural like. I don't like, I want to give me the best salad you got in here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't go to stores and ask for salad or
Yeah,
restaurants.
I'm not a salad
nor do I look for that. But those are important nutrients that we need to put in our bodies.
Yeah.
Because it's all part of the components that we need to make our body work as efficient as possible.
Facts.
Right.
So find ways to incorporate greens in your diet. There's a healthy balance. So if you're exercising, you're sleeping, and you're eating right, you're giving your body all the tools it needs to function as optimal as possible.
yeah.
And you're naturally healing your mind when it goes to these moments that it starts to tank.
Yeah.
So do those things first.
That's real.
And then watch out for negative coping mechanisms. If you feel like whenever you're in a certain mood, you go and do certain things that may have negative consequences, you need to monitor that.
That's candy for me.
See?
Yeah, it's bad.
Destroying
Push it
yourself.
away.
Last night, bro, 11:30. I went to the gas station, got me an icy, some sweet tarts.
11:30 at night.
Yeah, bro.
That's fat boy.
Sweet tarts and some sour punch. Some sour punch
What flavor
bites.
was it? What flavor? Did you have the
got in the
white
car.
cherry, or did you have?
See, this is how
the
you're
blue
not.
raspberry?
Nah, come on, bro. You got to get the.
I
It's
clearly
the.
haven't been to the gas station
with
for an
7-Eleven?
icy.
Not the Coke joint.
It's right across the street. I live right next to.
A 7-Eleven?
Nah, it was a Shell.
Okay, because the 7-Eleven white cherry be having like hot dog meat in it.
yeah. That's a fact.
My God.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And hot dog juice. Like,
Because the dude I seen the dude
Hot dog
putting
meat
it
in
the
the
mixer.
what?
Huh?
Hot dog meat and what?
in the slurry. In the slurry, bro.
Because like they be sloppy with it. They don't want to be there.
Do you think they wash their hands and change their gloves?
The hot dog situation is right next to the Slurpee
That's
machine.
a fact.
All it takes for one sleepy, sloppy employee is like, all right, whatever.
That's hella hot dog
and there's
juice.
hot dog meat in there.
Yeah.
Bro, wow.
And you think it's chunky.
Hell no, bro.
But nah,
That's so evil.
But nah, so yeah, and one last thing I will say, especially in the Black community, we need vitamin D. Vitamin D plays a dramatic role in our mental health, and Black folks. So I'm gonna tell you. So man, this might get a little too deep, but
You can't get too
this free jewels. All right, so you guys know about melanin, right?
Of course.
UV rays. So white people are more likely to get cancer,
Sunburn. Yeah, cancer,
right?
yeah.
Because they're not as protected by UV rays because of the lack of melanin.
Facts.
Right? So melanin is what protects us from getting too much sunlight.
That's what we finally got over, y'all.
JT. God.
So, but the problem is though, JT,
Oh shit.
in
I
America,
go eating my words.
so we get vitamin D from the sun, right?
Yeah.
But also melanin is sort of blocking it, right? Because it's preventing UV rays, which allows us, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in America, the sun is further away from the ground.
Okay.
So this is where we talk about like importation and stuff. The reason why Africans have naturally darker skin is because the sun is closer to the ground.
Okay.
Meaning that they need to protect themselves more from the UV rays because it's closer.
Yeah, I got you.
Now, if they go to America where the sun is further, the reason why they're lighter is because it's further away. I don't need that much melanin.
Okay. Is that's the first time I've ever heard that, bro, in my life.
Yeah.
That's the reason why.
There's some other reasons too.
So listen, and the way to prove that is they always say the stat.
Breeding.
A lot of black people, when they check their vitamin D levels, is always low.
Oh, facts. Yeah.
My wife took always low. We have a chronic vitamin D deficiency.
What?
In America problem. Yeah. And so, like, they did an experiment.
Yeah.
You send a bunch of black people to, like, Norway, their vitamin D start dropping because the sun is further away. Naturally, they're in an environment in which the sun is associated with the amount of melanin they have.
Yeah.
I'm packing my bag.
So when they talk about like deportation or not deportation, like immigration and things like that, and like forcing people from Africa to come to here, our bodies weren't naturally
equipped for
right.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
So anyways, vitamin D is relatively low in black folks, and so we need to first when you go to your doctor, make sure you ask them for the vitamin D levels. And I take vitamin D every day. That plays a huge role in your energy, your mental health, vitality, everything. You need to first check your vitamin D and then take supplementation. I take it naturally because I already know what's happening.
You know it's gonna be.
I need to check that one a day and see how much vitamin D is in that pill because I take that at least once a day. You know what I mean?
We should know what's in. Yeah.
Oh, they ain't doing it.
They ain't gonna get it.
They ain't doing
They
shit.
ain't doing it.
I need to stop taking that shit.
Okay.
Thing.
I mean, you still taking vitamins, but like they ain't gonna give you the vitamin D you need.
So, okay, to that point then, seeking out, like, because I tell you, like, coming up, well, I mean, it's different because I'm from the country. I'm from the SIP. We was outside, literally picking pecans off the floor and, like, hanging out. But
you weren't close. You weren't that close to the sun, though.
In the city, I'm telling you, my mom's, she don't mess with outside, fam. Like, my people growing up, like, we didn't have, if we had patio furniture, we didn't use it, G. Like, that's not that wasn't a thing like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm thinking now, like, even, think about it, when you're in the city, you're in like an urban sphere, like you don't even. I mean, it's different, right? It's different. So I'm wondering, if you're saying like a multivitamin is gonna get it. I'm assuming we should first of all, I think, just seek out more like outside exposure, right? More vitamin D, but that's not gonna get it either. Sounds like just being outside more. Just
it will help
plugging in with Mother Earth.
It will help. I mean, the longer you stay out there, melanin is not going to block everything. It's going to help, but more importantly is that you may need a little bit more assistance than our white counterparts because they're absorbing way more vitamin D than we can.
So would you just say, kind of like, in a summary, we need to take more time to maybe go by year? What is it? By yearly? Twice a year, go get checked, right? Understand your iron levels, understand, and then from
check
there,
your thyroids too. That plays a role in your mental health.
And from there, you know, obviously the doctor or the provider would say, hey, you are lacking in this.
Yep.
Keep up with your, obviously, certain levels. And vitamin D being so low, I mean, shit. I love orange juice, so ain't orange juice vitamin D?
It's vitamin C.
It's vitamin C.
Damn.
You got
I think milk is vitamin C.
Right, so clearly.
Get a word. It's all good. You're the money man.
You tried.
But nah,
I was real confident about orange juice.
That was it.
I hope y'all take them gems for sure.
No doubt, bro.
Man, Bryan, Dr. Sackey, appreciate you so much for coming on the show and providing all those talking points, man. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. A lot to chew on.
Yeah.
Hey, man, at this point, I think it's only right that we get into our traditional segment called The Toast. And for this episode, we wanted to highlight our special guest, Bryan Sackey, a.k.a. Dr. Sackey. You know, what's the correct term? The
psychopharmacologist?
Psychopharmacologist. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I love that title. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
thank you so much for taking the time to come on our platform and provide all of these talking points and these nodes and knowledge points to our listeners. I'm pretty sure that they really appreciate your input and your insight.
This was fun.
And I hope that you all have learned something from this. I know all the partners have definitely learned something from this, even the partners that aren't necessarily talking into the mic right now. Man, this toast is to you, man. Thank you so much. And we wish you nothing but prosperity and longevity in your career And we are looking forward to the next time you come on the podcast and provide more insight and more findings.
I would love to,
for our village, man. Thank you so much.
And quick salute. I mean, in this toast, just salute because, like you said, there aren't as many people of color that do what you do. I'm sure. So that's dope.
Yeah,
appreciate
so
y'all,
at this
man.
time, let's go ahead and hold on, D, you got the board? Hold on, you got the toast. Oh yeah. Oh shit, my bad. My bad.
Still the board. Nigga.
Hey, all right, not over the board though. Hey,
Y'all clink, we clink.
here's to Doc Sackey.
Oh yeah.
That was spicy.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is all that we have for episode 9 of season 2.
Partners Podcast.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Jesus sauce is large.
Brian, we want to give this opportunity for you to provide all of your socials. So if you want to go ahead and provide your @name and any site plugs.
Yes. So Instagram, I am at Kwame Knows, KWAME. Shout out to Ghana. And then just the word knows. Like KNOWS.
You got any websites?
Yes. So shout out to my beautiful community over at the Pharmacy Initiative Leaders, Pills nonprofit organization, where we help to serve those underserved populations and minorities who are looking to get into the pharmacy field. Guidance, mentorship. So that's Pills Connect, PILS, 1L, Connect.com. Also, Pills Connect on Instagram and Facebook. So definitely check that out. Whether you may not know, you probably want to do pharmacy.
You never know.
Check it out.
Diggity dig. All right, go ahead, partners. Go ahead, Courtney. Left end of the table.
Yep. Y'all can follow me Instagram at Courtney J. Coleman's. Courtney J. Coleman.
Courtney J. Coleman.
At Courtney J.
Don't
Coleman.
spell it out. We're gonna be here all night. You can find me at the dictionary THE_DXARY.
And I am at JT Got Soul. That's JT Got SOLE. And follow us at Partners Podcast at Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and then visit our website, www.partnerspodcast.com. And if you want to let us know anything or if you want to provide any feedback, go ahead and contact us at contact@partnerspodcast.com. That is contact@POTNAS podcast.com. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.
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 Topics.